The coronavirus pandemic is causing the largest drop in global energy investment in history, according to the International Energy Agency. Shutdowns have led to a slump in demand, which has impacted every major sector. In its annual World Energy Investment Report, the IEA says global spending this year is set to plunge around $400 billion, or 20% compared to last year. Fossil fuels are expected to be the hardest hit, with oil losing 30% in funding and coal suffering a 15% fall. And investment in renewable projects is forecast to drop 10%, which could undermine the global transition to sustainable energy. And the IEA says falling demand and lower prices will mean a steep fall in government and industry revenue of more than $1 trillion. Well, for more, I'm joined now by Mehmet Ogutcu in London. He's CEO of Global Resources Partnership, chairman of the London Energy Club, and a former diplomat. Welcome to Money Talks, Mehmet. As I mentioned, the IEA says the pandemic is causing the biggest ever fall in energy investment. What sort of impact will that have on the global energy sector?
Well, I don't think we needed to wait for IEA to tell us what's happening in terms of global investments declining, because we face this trouble almost in every sector. And unquestionably, energy sector was going to be hit hardest because of its being the backbone of world economy. And demand destruction and decline in prices, and also, to the level that minus $37 in West Texas oil, as you remember. Then we had also this historic production cut by OPEC Plus, led by Russia and other non-OPEC countries, 9.6 million barrels per day. This wasn't sufficient because the oil demand plunged by almost 30%. So now, as a result of this situation, we are seeing that the confidence in the energy sector by investors has significantly declined, and they are not going to put more money in such an environment. So last year we had around 2 trillion, to be precise, $1.9 trillion investment in fossil fuels and renewables. And of the investment dollars, 1 in every 3 investment dollars went to the oil sector, and 2/3 went to the renewables and efficiency improvements. So these were giant steps in terms of moving into the greener, cleaner energy system. But now we see that there will be less and less investment, especially in oil and gas,
yes,
because decline is almost 30% in oil, and in shale production, which made US the largest producer in the world, the decline is 50%.
Incredible.
Almost by half.
Now,
and renewables is relatively, I don't agree that it is going to disrupt significantly renewable sector, because it's only 10% decline, which is, I think, quite normal under the circumstances that we are in right now.
Can I ask you more about oil? Because the IEA says crude will be the hardest hit in terms of a drop in investment. And as you mentioned, oil is already suffering from a collapse in demand and prices. Do you think this is then the beginning of the end of the oil industry?
I think this will be too much far-fetched to say that this is the beginning of an end, but we know that there is going to be a painful transition from fossil fuels to renewables. And as you know, 60% of the oil is used in transportation. Now, the fact that our mobility came to a halt almost around the world or slowed down, imperatively, the oil demand will be declining, and the prices as a result as well. So my guess is that down the road, in 3 years, we are going to face a serious supply crunch in oil, because oil demand will pick up. In my estimation, recovery might take about 3 years. And then, since investments have not been made today, we are going to face a shortage of oil in this circle. So the prices will also change, and price, I don't think, will change much about $50 in the next year or so. But later on, if the demand will continue as we expect, as a result of recovery, then we will have a serious problem in terms of supply crunch.
Yes.
So The declining levels of investment in oil is not a good news for the industry, of course.
No.
But don't expect that we will move or we will jump over the fossil fuel era to a cleaner fuel era right away. It's going to take time. We will live together with oil, gas, as well as renewables for a long time to come.
Okay. Mehmet Ogutcu from the Global Resources Partnership in London, thank you so much again for joining us on the program.